We begin with a troubling and urgent story out of central Nigeria, involving Fulani bandits and a wave of violent attacks that have reportedly struck communities in both Kogi State and Enugu State. According to several credible reports today, armed assailants, believed to be bandits, carried out a brazen assault on a church in Ejiba, Yagba West LGA of Kogi State. During the church service, gunmen stormed the premises, opened fire, and abducted the pastor, his wife, and a number of worshippers. In a separate incident, bandits reportedly ambushed travelers along a major highway in Kogi State, the Isanlo-Amakutu-Adifin Road, intercepting vehicles in what witnesses described as a daylight operation. Several passengers are said to have been abducted. Meanwhile, in Enugu State, residents of certain rural communities continue to live under the shadow of violence. In one documented case from October 2025, suspected herders allegedly killed a young man in Ogu local government area, sparking outrage among his community and increasing fear among farmers who are now afraid to go back to their farmlands. In addition, violence by suspected bandits in the Ehamufu area of Enugu has been reported earlier in 2025. Communities there have suffered multiple attacks, with more than 10 people killed in one of such raids. Now, while the full picture is still emerging, security sources quoted by media today suggest that the latest church abduction in Ejiba, Kogi, may be part of a backlash by fleeing criminals. According to those sources, recent coordinated military and security operations have reportedly dismantled several bandit hideouts, forcing surviving elements to scatter and resort to random acts of violence and abductions. But there's also a twist. In some corners, officials are pushing back against certain allegations, warning people against spreading unverified rumors. For instance, in recent days the police in part of Kogi State publicly dismissed claims of a large-scale invasion of communities as fake news, saying that some of the circulating stories lacked credible verification. This contradiction between reports of brutal attacks and official denials underlines a grim reality that many Nigerians already know well. The security situation remains volatile, unpredictable, and terrifying for many innocent citizens. So what does this mean for you, as a citizen, a traveler, or someone living in vulnerable communities? It means heightened vigilance is necessary. Whether you are attending worship, traveling on highways, or farming in rural areas, the risk is real. Communities that were once considered safe are no longer immune. At the same time, it means we must demand accountability and effective action from our security agencies. If bandit hideouts can be dismantled, kidnappers neutralized, we must insist that the state sees through these operations to the end, secures the displaced, and protect ordinary Nigerians. Also, as citizens, we must guard against panic and the spread of false information. While many of these incidents are very real and tragic, conflating verified attacks with rumors can cause further harm, fear, and division. Always check reports against credible sources. One major factor that security analysts often point to is the shifting movement of armed groups. When one zone experiences intense military pressure, criminal groups tend to disperse into new territories where security presence is lighter. This creates a ripple effect. An unexpected spike in violence in areas that may have previously enjoyed relative calm. Residents in many southern and central communities have expressed fears that fleeing bandits from the northwest and north-central may be seeking new hideouts across state borders. Another angle worth discussing, and one often raised by community leaders, is the economic desperation that fuels such activities. Many rural communities face unemployment, lack of education, and shrinking economic opportunities. While this does not justify crime in any form, experts say it contributes to the rise in armed groups that exploit these vulnerabilities. Some of these criminals infiltrate forests, pitch camps, and begin to terrorize villages, travelers, farmers, and worshippers. But beyond criminal motivations, there is also the challenge of inadequate policing in many rural communities. Several villages have only a handful of officers covering large territories. In some cases, residents rely on vigilante groups or local hunters for protection. This gap in security coverage leaves communities exposed, especially during late-night hours or early morning movements. For viewers watching from affected communities, remember that your safety is paramount. Limit unnecessary travel at night and stay connected with local networks who share verified alerts. And as always, please like this video and subscribe for continuous updates. It helps the channel reach more people who need timely information. Now, let's shift to how citizens are reacting. In Kogi, after the church abduction incident, community members were reported to have immediately alerted authorities and mobilized search teams. Residents expressed frustration, calling for stronger patrol presence along worship centers and public spaces, especially on weekends when church and social gatherings are most active. In Enugu, the reactions have been a mix of fear and resilience. Some residents have called on the state government to reinforce security in the Ehomufu axis and other border communities. Farmers in particular are demanding stronger guarantees of safety so they can return to their farmlands without fear of being attacked. Many of these farmers rely solely on agriculture for their livelihood, and every day away from their farms worsens their financial condition. Meanwhile, national security experts are urging both federal and state authorities to collaborate more effectively. Coordinated intelligence, rapid response units, and community-based security structures remain crucial in preventing further attacks. Some recommend deploying more technology, such as surveillance drones, to monitor forest corridors where bandits often hide. And as we continue this report, please remember to hit the like button and subscribe, especially if you appreciate detailed and responsible updates like this. Your engagement ensures the message reaches more viewers and helps fight misinformation. Another important point is the emotional and psychological toll these attacks have on victims and their families. Kidnapping is not just a physical crime, it breaks the mental stability of communities. People become afraid to attend social events, visit markets, or even gather for worship. Children grow up in fear, and businesses suffer because economic activity slows down. Restoring security is not only about stopping violence, it is about restoring confidence. As we progress, we must also examine the role of dialogue, community policing, and conflict resolution. Some security analysts argue that a combination of military pressure and strategic dialogue can help reduce tensions in hotspot regions. Others insist that only strong enforcement, without negotiation, can work. Whichever approach is taken, what citizens want most is simply to live their lives without fear. In Kogi State, officials often emphasize that the government has zero tolerance for criminal activity. Over the years, Kogi has built a reputation for swift crackdowns on armed groups, especially along major road networks like the Okin axis, which historically faced multiple security threats. However, the recent attacks highlight that even with strong enforcement measures, criminals still find loopholes. This is why security experts continuously call for improved intelligence gathering. When communities, police units, and local authorities share accurate information quickly, it becomes harder for bandits to operate unnoticed. Meanwhile, in Enugu State, the government has previously set up joint task forces and security committees to address violence in rural border communities. Many residents appreciate these efforts, but they argue that more needs to be done at the grassroots level. Some suggest installing community alarm systems, strengthening neighborhood watch groups, and increasing communication between villagers and security operatives. These local structures help reduce the reaction time when emergencies occur. While authorities work on strategies, everyday citizens find themselves becoming more vigilant. Many communities now conduct night patrols, hold emergency meetings, and develop communication networks using phone groups to spread alerts. These grassroots measures may not eliminate threats completely, but they significantly increase awareness and preparedness, something that often saves lives. Please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Your engagement helps push out crucial information to more people, especially those living in rural communities who rely on updates like this. Now, let's explore the broader national context. Nigeria's security landscape has become increasingly complex over the past decade. From banditry to kidnapping, herder-farmer clashes, highway robberies, and communal violence, the challenges vary from region to region. This complexity is part of what makes the fight so difficult. Different groups operate with different motivations, weapons, and strategies. Some are driven by greed, some by desperation, and some by long-standing tensions that have gone unresolved. This is why security experts keep advocating for a more coordinated national security architecture. One that cuts across states, regions, and ethnic lines. Bandits do not respect borders. They move from one community to another, slipping through forests, hills, and waterways. A state-by-state security approach cannot fully solve the problem. A regional and federal approach is required, involving governors, traditional leaders, and federal agencies working hand in hand. Another angle that cannot be ignored is the importance of job creation and youth empowerment. When young people have no opportunities, they become increasingly vulnerable to recruitment by criminal networks. Some may be lured with money. Others may join out of frustration. Improving education, expanding agricultural programs, and supporting small businesses can reduce the pool of idle youth who become targets for exploitation. We also must address the role of technology. In countries facing similar security challenges, surveillance systems, drones, and early warning sensors have been used effectively to detect threats before they escalate. Nigeria has started exploring these options, but the scale is still small compared to the size of the country. Investing in technology could transform the security situation, especially in rural areas where patrols are limited. Again, please like this video and subscribe. Your support helps grow this platform and ensures more people receive accurate information and responsible reporting. Now, let's speak directly to viewers who may be living in Kogi, Enugu, or other areas at risk. Here are some practical safety suggestions. Avoid unnecessary late-night travel, especially on isolated roads. Stay in close communication with your neighbors and community leaders. Report suspicious activities immediately, even if you are unsure. Travel in groups rather than alone when moving through vulnerable areas. Take note of unusual movements in forests, farms, or unused buildings. These measures may seem small, but they make a difference. Sometimes a single early report can help security agents track suspicious individuals before harm is done. As we approach the next segment of this extended breakdown, remember once again to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It keeps the channel growing and ensures you stay informed.